So the next most annoying thing is, are they sharp? Because you really want sharp knives, especially for safety purposes, but just because cutting stuff is easier when they're nice and sharp. And I'm gonna solve both problems. If you have bad knives, I've got the 12-piece Cuisinart knives coming up, which are fantastic. We've sold something like 300,000 sets of them, and we've got a way to sharpen them with this next item. And joining me is Chef Eric, one of my dear friends. Hi, Eric, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Welcome back.
Thank you very much.
So true, you've been in the kitchen and been a chef for a long time. The most important thing is having sharp knives.
Yeah, that's the worst thing is a dull knife.
Yeah.
That's where accidents happen. That's where things slide off, and you wind up getting cut.
Yeah, yeah, and
Sure.
it's just a hot mess. Like you're trying to cut a
really
tomato and just.
Right. So with the Any Sharp, this is going to actually stick onto any solid surface. You know, whether you have marble, look at that, we got that stuck right on there. It's very simple. One little lever, and it's like a little suction cup. Keeps it right on, and you just draw your blade straight through.
Why is that important? That it stays put.
Well, because you don't want to keep your hand on it while drawing a sharp blade through. You know, you run the risk. So that way you're completely hands-free, and all you have to do is worry about sharpening your knives, whether it's just like that. And it's not a three-step process. A lot of times there's a coarse, a medium, a fine process. This is one step, and it's done.
And why is that important?
Well, it's just one less step that you have to worry about.
Right.
You know, if you're a novice in the kitchen, a lot of people are like, well, I see these stages, I don't know what to do. I actually have an electric one that has 2 stages, but the third one is for serrated only. It's a little.
Do you even remember?
No, it's a little confusing, and if you don't look at it, you're not going to know.
Right.
So how many of you have? I'm purposely dulling this knife just to show you that it's not going to cut really well. So all you have to do is take the Any Sharp, attach it. I'm just going to run this through a couple times. 1, 2, 3. Just like that. Easy as 1, 2, 3. And we also have a little demonstration over here. I have purposely colored a knife just to show you exactly the filings that will come off. We just put a little marker right across there, and all you have to do is draw it over the Any Sharp blade, and the filings come right off, and I'm going to show you the blade just to show you that the marker actually does come off down there. So if you could take a look, it takes off the filings. Because a lot of the problems that I find with people that are novices is they think this steel that comes with your knife block, that's going to sharpen your knife for the rest of your life. It doesn't. It only brings an edge back for a certain amount of time.
No kidding.
Because basically what happens is your knife blade is supposed to be like a perfect triangle, but over time it gets these little burrs, and that sharpening steel brings that edge back.
No kidding.
But after a while, that's only going to do so much.
Plus,
you actually need a sharpener.
Nobody ever knows how to use those. You have to be a professional chef. That thing, trying to go shh, 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 you have to have the specific angle, and if you don't do the angle right, you actually screw up all your good knives.
If you don't know if you're supposed to be at 20%, 25%, 12%. Every knife is different, whether it's a German steel, Japanese steel, it's all different. Right. But with the Any Sharp, again, we have this on a solid piece of marble. That is suction cupped on. That's not moving anywhere. Okay, and what kind of knives can I use with that? Every single knife available. Ceramic coated, like our Cuisinart. You could use that. Serrated, you could even do. So you can use serrated on this one. Yes. What about scissors? Okay, you know I'm a crafter. Yes. I craft a lot. I go through scissors like nobody's business, right? Can I use scissors on this? Absolutely. See, that's a really big deal, because you know a whole lot of knife sharpeners don't allow you to use scissors. You can't use scissors. Because a lot of the times what happens is the scissors actually won't even fit into the machine. Exactly. You might only get like half the blade. Right. You can't get the whole thing. You can get it right through. I want you to actually try this with the serrated. Sure. All you need is some light pressure, and you're just pulling it towards you. Oh, got it. That's it. Okay. And just you do a couple, how many passes do you have to do? Couple passes. That's easy. And all you have to do is test the blade with something. Like a tomato. And you're good to go. And you have these great choice of colors, but again, very simple process. And the colors are black, cream, deep teal, earth, orchid, and red. Did I get them all right? I believe you did. Ochre. Is it ochre? Which one's that? I believe that's the ochre. I believe is the yellow. Ochre, not orchid. Sorry. So, why don't they just call it yellow, for gosh sakes? It'd be so much easier. Okay, so you got that one, and then you have red, and then you're looking at the deep. Let's see, what's that one? Well, you go over them, Eric. Do you know which one it is? Ochre is yellow, so we got that. Then we have red. then you're aqua.
Oh, is that aqua?
Right? Is that aqua?
No, we're gonna find out. It's either deep teal, and
you're
then
black.
over there's black.
And you're white.
The white is
Or
cream. And then what's that color right there?
Earth.
That's earth. Can I do that again? Sorry, we got it together. This is earth. This is cream. We try to confuse you. We really want to make it very confusing. This is earth. This is cream, this is black, we got that. This is ochre, this is red, and this is deep teal. We got it. Okay, now these are a this day only price, and I'd love to explain that because you might be channel surfing with us tonight. The price is good until midnight. These make wonderful gift ideas. We have the Cuisinart 12-piece set. We've sold, now this latest count is over 300,000 sets of these, like within this year. Like it's crazy, right? There's 12 pieces to the set coming up. This, along with this guy, perfect wedding gift, perfect housewarming gift, perfect birthday gift. You have someone who cooks in the kitchen a lot. Maybe if someone who doesn't cook in the kitchen, you're trying to encourage them. Again, the 12-piece knife set plus this, you've really given them the 1-2 answer, because eventually these are great knives, but they will get dull. You've got to have sharp knives. You know, Eric, I think a lot of people get frustrated with prepping their food for dinner simply because their knives are so dull. You have to go slower, or you're ruining things, or you're smushing things.
Yeah, exactly. I just purposely dulled this knife, and a lot of people, when they see a recipe, oh, I want to try that. Look at that. Like, you really have to dig in there to get that.
Right. So frustrating.
Very frustrating. Like you said, it really puts people off. Nobody wants to try anything and experiment because the prep. If you have a sharp knife, and you really only need a few perfect little knives, and you're set.
Right.
All you have to do
with the
AnySharp, and they have to be sharp.
Right.
And I'm going to sharpen this right now and go back to that tomato, and then I'm actually going to show you those filings that are coming off of this knife, making this sharp. Just like that. Perfect. And then I'm going to show you right there on the board, the filings actually come off.
That's right. See, and again, that's really,
right,
and you don't have to figure out the dumb angle, because I'm telling you, if you can buy the most expensive knives in the world, but they're gonna get dull. Every knife dulls. They really do.
Yeah, and do you have this in your knife block, and you have to guess?
No idea what it is.
Is this a 12% knife or a 20-degree knife, a 25-degree? What is it?
Plus, I don't even get the whole. I'm not coordinated enough, I think.
And everybody has a different way to do it.
You know, no one uses those dumb things. They might as well just not put them in the blocks anymore, because you know where you're using them? You're using them to stick down the drain to try to get something out of it. That's what you use that dumb thing for, because nobody knows how to use them, I swear. And I think that is frustrating when you're in the kitchen. You don't want to walk in the kitchen, you say, oh, honey, I'm going to make this great recipe, and then you're just grinding and digging on your knives trying to cut something so simple. Also, you might have a complicated recipe, and you need to really chop away. Dull knives are gonna ruin that experience. And I think when we are taking too much time in the kitchen to prep, that's why we don't try new recipes. We don't try to cook a lot, simply because our tools are not effective.
Right, and that's enough to discourage anybody from wanting to, cook at home, cook a nice healthy meal, and picking up the phone and ordering takeout.
Right, or you go through a drive-through and then you feel terribly guilty about that, and you've spent too much money. I mean, why do that?
Again, it's a little suction cup system that I'm going to show you here. It's a little handle right there. All you do is you put it on your hard surface, whether it's a glass countertop or marble. And now it is perfectly suctioned.
Brilliant.
Just to show you the bottom. It adheres to any surface, any hard surface.
Well, also, you might know people have dexterity problems, and a lot of sharpeners you have to hold with one hand, and then you've got to kind of do this with the other hand on a knife sharpener, or you've got a machine that you have to plug in, and it's really loud, and you never know which one to stick it in. I like this because you don't have to use two hands to sharpen a knife.
And it's tiny. It's just
really little.
It literally will fit in the palm of your hand. The machine I have is electric, so I have to plug it in. And it's almost the size of a half a loaf of bread.
So
it's about this big.
You're right.
And so I have to find a place in my cabinet.
That's right.
This fits in any spot, in your drawer, near your knives, or for your crafting room if you have your scissors that you constantly have to
See, and if you sew and do quilting, oh my gosh, can you imagine? That would be so handy, because again, what are you gonna plug in a knife sharpener for your scissors? And those of us who craft, we despise dull scissors. That is like the bane of our existence because you're using them all the time to cut everything. And when you're cutting paper and certainly with fabric and everything that would cut ribbon, you know you're just constantly dulling those scissors down. So just get this for that crafter in your life. Get it for you, you know. I love to get a couple of these and tuck them away. And then if an event comes up or you're thinking stocking stuffers, it'd be kind of a perfect stocking stuffer.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful.
Never too
You're
early.
gonna love it, and it's gonna sharpen every knife that you possibly own. From paring knives to scissors to chef knives to santokus or slicing blades.
And serrated.
And serrated.
Which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Now you're not going far. What do you have coming up?
Coming up, I will be outside with Charbroil. A lot of great food.
We know that name, and it's back, and you're gonna love it when you see it. So we'll see you in a minute.
Sounds good.
All right, now this is the knife set I was kind of bragging on too. And like I said a moment ago, there's nothing more frustrating than having really bad knives. It really is, it's so frustrating. Maybe you've got wobbly knives, maybe they're rusted, maybe it's just time to finally change them. We have sold over 300,000 sets of this exact configuration, and guess what? This is the lowest, best price we've ever offered. Normally, this has been very successful at $54.95. Tonight, and I'm telling you, stock up. This is the birthday blowout, $19.95. Look at all the knives you get. You even get the scissors. It's a bigger configuration than ever. And did you notice the 4 flex pays down there in that little grayish black box? It's $4.99. So if you've been waiting on getting new knives, this is the time to do it. And by the way, when those are gone, they will never, ever be back at this price. So if you want new knives, tonight's the night to get it. All right, how's your blender? You trying to do some really frosty, wonderful, cool drinks for the kids or maybe for you in the summertime and your blender's just smoking up, it kind of smells, or it just grinds down to nothing. Well, we've got one of the names. It's a nice show because we have a lot of great brands in this show. This is Braun, and we all know the quality of a Braun product. We've got what I consider one of the most powerful blenders at one of the most affordable prices. It's this unique combination of the power and performance with an amazing price on this, because this, I hear, Miss Kelly says that you're actually going to make a snow cone.
I'm gonna make a snow cone and a pina colada, which is more important to you.
The pina colada for sure.
Too.
Always, always. Especially right now.
I know, right?
But yeah, that's really, this is kind of price and performance together.
Usually at this price, you're getting about 250, 350 watts, right? So we're doubling that. And this is Braun. So you're getting a 2-year warranty. You're getting the name brand of Braun, the truly finest quality in German engineering that you're gonna be able to find in kitchen electronics. Let's just show you the power, because a lot of you are getting, I'll be honest, 2 things I do use my blender for the most: smoothies almost daily, like with my protein drink, and a mixed drink, you know, on the weekend. I like to make a good frozen drink. So let's start with the smoothie. You can see on the inside here, we have fruits, vegetables. We even have the fibrous stuff, like the kale that we're sneaking in the middle and the celery at the top. I love that you have all the preset functions, right? So you can choose from any of these. It's gonna pulse up and down on its own. That's a feature of a very expensive, sophisticated blender. So you have all the way from pulse to stir, chop, mix, puree, liquefy, and then it'll crush ice. And crush ice is its own feature, which I really like. Let's hit liquefy. You're actually gonna hear it starting up and stopping on its own. And we're actually calling that our power assist technology. What that's doing is it's sensing the fibrous stuff and it's ramping up. And if it's sensing something that's not very fibrous and very easy to blend, it'll ramp itself down. Really? That's what saves your motor. Yeah, so that's why we are so comfortable giving you a 2-year warranty. Most blenders, the motor burns out before, 6 months, maybe a year. Not with this one, because we're giving you that full 2-year warranty. Look at the smoothie that we've done. Completely liquefied in under 30 seconds.
That's
so
really
it's a great smoothie maker. And I love the price point. I mean, we've sort of gotten accustomed to having to spend that $400 and $500 for a blender. You don't probably always need that. Do you know what I mean? You can get a really fine, high quality blender for, this price point. Look at, there's no chunks and no bumps. This is not a chunky. I always rename a smoothie that has big old chunks in it a chunky because it's not smooth anymore. Look, it's an actual smoothie, right? Yeah, this is a smooth smoothie. So I think that that's really important to get your morning started right. You're gonna get a beautiful consistency with your green smoothie, your red smoothie, your energy drink. If you had some protein powder or any of your supplements, you can pop in there comfortably.
Well, and Kelly, you were talking about making protein drinks and smoothies that are good for you and all that. And the problem is, just like having dull knives, if you don't don't have a great blender, your enthusiasm for making those smoothies every morning or a great juice, you know, a great
goes away.
Completely goes away.
Completely goes away.
Because you're like, oh my gosh, it tastes bad, the consistency's nasty, I don't like it. And then we get bummed and we kind of fall off the wagon.
It's true.
In terms of trying to, you know, eat healthier and drink healthier items.
So it has to be easy to use.
It does.
Has to work for you.
Has to be simple,
Has to be simple. Has to be easy to clean. Dishwasher safe on this one, okay? Obviously not the motor, but the other pieces are dishwasher safe. And we just made a tomato soup. Now, if I ran that a tad bit longer, it would get warm. Okay, it's not gonna get hot, but it's gonna get warm. And so it has the power to give you these fresh, you know, meals that you want. So you don't have to go out and buy the canned soup. I mean, you really can get the junk out of your life. You can see that was just our stewed tomatoes, our onions, but I'm using the spoon to show you it's completely and utterly liquefied. It's smooth, it's creamy, and guess what? It'll be the healthiest thing you eat all day long, a beautiful homemade fresh tomato soup. You don't have to buy it in the can with all the added sodium or the added food coloring. You know, I've looked at soup cans before and just been in total shock. You know, you really should only have a couple of ingredients, and that would be tomatoes and onions and maybe a little fresh basil if that's what you would like. You don't have to have all the garbage in your food.
Right, and it's a lot less expensive.
Sure.
But you've got to have the tools to make that happen. All right, so here we have, I didn't mention, but if you're getting the knife sharpener we just did, that $14 price ends tonight. And in this case, we have 5 flex pays on this. Do you guys have 5 up there? Yeah, $11.99, and that is only available until midnight tonight, which is an hour and 45 minutes to use flex. What does that mean? Spread your payments out over 5 months, but you get it right away. Any major credit card, we even accept PayPal. So if you want to use the flex in this instance, you've got to. Woo! Is this the ice mode?
I mean, I just put in 2 full cups of freezer ice, the traditional, really rock hard, solid freezer ice.
Right.
Can you hear it pulsing up and down? Yeah. So it knows when it's done. It's ramping up, it's ramping down. This can do snow cone ice,
okay,
or
that's pretty great.
pina colada ice, better yet, or frozen margarita ice, whatever kind of ice you want to use for whatever reason, whether it's for the grandkids or whatever. Look at this, I'm gonna put it on the black. It's literally turned ice into snow. Yeah, you can make like a little snowman. I'm gonna take the rest of it and make a beautiful snow cone with it. But that has the crush ice feature. So it's a myth that you need, you know, to spend $400 and $500 just to crush your ice. You definitely don't. You have that crush ice feature. I actually sat today and ate this ice. I love this kind of ice. This is the kind of ice that you pay for, you know, at that fast food restaurant. It's the best kind of ice, and we've basically turned it into snow to get a beautiful snow cone.
Crazy.
Isn't that great?
That is really fun.
All right, so summertime fun.
Remarkable. And something else, for the size, I love the size of this. If you do not have a lot of counter space, a lot of times the units that are $400 and $500 and $600, they're just massive and they're tall.
True.
And they take up a lot of space.
They're big and clunky.
They're really clunky and they're awkward. This, I think it's beautiful. Braun did a gorgeous job. Even the handle's pretty, which is amazing, right?
And it's small. The footprint is nice and compact.
It's not a giant footprint. So if you don't have a lot of space for a great big blender, but you really are trying to change your eating habits, maybe you do want to make some fun frosty drinks for the summer, this I think is a great choice. Oh, is this the pina colada?
So if you are doing a beautiful frozen drink, it's thinking on its own. That thinking process of it going up and down, we call that power assist, but what it's doing is it's sensing the actual, you know, hardness of the ice, and it's pulsing up, it's pulsing down. So, you know, that's what saves the motor. Right. Most motors burn out because they know one speed and they just go for it, and you start to smell that smoke that you were saying, and then it's like time to get a new blender, right? We're giving you a full 2-year warranty on this. That's unheard of for most kits. Anything that plugs in is usually about 90-day warranty.
And especially this price.
Yep.
You know, you would never expect a 2-year warranty at this price.
Look at that pina colada. Isn't that like you're just sitting on the beach somewhere, or maybe you're on a cruise ship, or maybe you're at one of those expensive theme parks where they charge you 18 bucks a drink? Look at that pina colada.
Do it in your own backyard.
Do it in your own backyard. Yeah, you can choose your own kind of rum, your own kind of pina colada mix. You can make a frozen daiquiri, frozen mojitos, whatever you want to do, you're able to do. And then you can add in the little umbrellas for funsies.
Can you show the lid? Because even the lid's designed.
Yes, and I forgot to put in my shot of rum, so that's not very much fun. I'm going to do it right now.
Ready to drink that.
I'm actually going to do it right now. So there is that shot of rum, and she was mentioning silly Kelly. This is actually the lid. Right. And it has a little measuring cup. It just happens to be 1.5 ounces, which is a perfect shot size, but you could add in a little oil to your hummus, and it will actually feed it in slowly if you want it to feed it in slowly.
It does,
yeah,
really?
there's a little hole that will feed it in slowly, and we'll do it over with our hummus.
Okay.
But there you go. It has that perfect measure mark there for a shot if you want to use it as a frozen drink, and whatever you want to use it for.
And you can't lose it.
Can't lose it.
It's right on the top of the lid. So that's good, because you're not going to lose that.
Exactly. So I'll use it here. I'll show you here.
And another reminder, too, I love that flex pay, but unfortunately, that is going to end tonight at midnight. So you have a special birthday price. But really, it's that flex pay that allows you to finally get a new blender. Have you been out without one for a really long time? Like your last one you bought at the local supermarket, just, you know, it bit the dust.
Exactly.
It didn't have the power you needed. Just treat yourself, because I think having a great blender is important.
It's attractive. It's a small footprint. Now you can see I've just poured in a little bit of oil, and it's just drizzling through it, sort of folding it in there.
Smart.
And then I'm going to hit that puree button, okay? And we're making a hummus, so maybe you're doing homemade baby food or you're doing fresh hummus, and you're just sick and tired of all the processed chemicals, right? If you look at the back of things like peanut butter or homemade soup or even the hummus that you get at the grocery store, there really should be 3 to 5 ingredients in most of those things. Guess what? There's usually like 55 ingredients, and they're things you can't pronounce. You can actually see our steel blades has enough power that it's pulling everything in. It's creating that vortex. It's our quad blade technology there. And we've just pureed a beautiful homemade hummus, okay? Nice. So at the end of the day, it just makes things easier to do in the kitchen, and you don't have to break the bank to do it. You really don't, because you're getting that brand name of Braun, which everybody knows and loves and trusts. It's one of the highest end companies that you can trust in terms of your kitchen, that German engineering, and then that 2-year warranty. So what have you got to lose?
No, that's so
Look
true.
at that hummus. Isn't that not beautiful?
And then you have ad-free shipping. You're saving $7.50 tonight on that. So that's even more savings. And then the 5 flex pays. Yep. You know, maybe you need a second blender. Maybe you have
or maybe
a
it's
little
gift.
Oh, it'd be a great gift.
But
if you think about this, if you have a tiki bar or you have you just need a plug, right? So let's say you've got a really fancy big blender in the house. You spent, you know, $400 on it. But you're like, oh, you know what? We just need that second one, whether we go vacationing in a camper, or maybe you're going to go to a friend's house and you guys are throwing a, you know, barbecue. Maybe you just want it outside for temporarily. Obviously, it's not an outside blender, but, you know, temporarily
you're
going to have a party.
You have an outdoor kitchen.
Yeah, you have an outdoor kitchen, or you've got
a
deck area, and you just want to mix up some fun drinks on a Saturday evening for your friends that come over. Perfect blender for that.
It really is, and it's a great gift. If you have got a wedding coming up, or maybe somebody that's starting out on their own, right, and they don't even have a blender, this is a really sophisticated, nice blender to give as a gift. You're not breaking the bank with it, but you're getting a 2-year warranty, which means it's going to last you at a minimum of 2 years. I'd say it'd probably, it'd probably last you 5 to 10 years, just based on the Braun name. I mean, I've owned Braun products that have lasted me upwards of a decade, and that's because of that German engineering. All right, we've got 4 scoops of vanilla ice cream. We've got some milk, and then we have our sandwich cookies. So now we can have fun with this. I'm gonna go ahead and hit that liquefy button, but have as much fun with it as you would like. We are just making a homemade milkshake, right? In an instant, it takes that frozen ice cream, whether it's ice that we just crushed, or ice cream, and you can make everything fresh, regardless of the fact that there is sugar in here. Guess what? There's no added chemicals that you can't pronounce, that you're purchasing at the grocery store. And if anybody's seen me here at HSN, they know I'm a huge proponent of getting the garbage out of our food and doing everything fresh. And when you have the tools to do things homemade and fresh, you really feel better about it, even when you're treating yourself to something like a milkshake.
Oh, sure, let's treat myself.
All right, I noticed you went for that and not the pina colada.
Well,
thank you for saving that for me.
The rum on top with the last
it'll mix right in, my friend. A little, whipped cream, and you're good to go.
And it's delicious.
It's delicious,
and it has the right consistency.
It's a perfect consistency.
That's great.
That's right. All right, over here we're gonna do another smoothie. So if if you're trying to maybe get the coffee out of your diet a little bit, a fresh smoothie in the morning gives you instant energy, and it's natural energy. So a green smoothie, a red smoothie, a purple smoothie, adding a little kale. You can see we've got all fruits inside here, and then you've got the liquefy button. That's perfect for your smoothies. You also have a pulse button, and just not for nothing, the front of this, there's no little grooves for anything to get stuck in. So it's very easy to clean off. You can see anything that pops onto there, you can just wipe clean. So everything about this is sophisticated. It looks nice. It looks great. It looks really nice. Yeah, doesn't it look like a $500 blender?
Yeah, it really
does.
Yeah,
all right, I'm gonna go ahead and hit that liquefy button. And what you're hearing is it amping up and amping down, and that really and truly is a feature of a $400 and $500 blender. It's thinking, it feels the friction on the blades and it ramps up, and if there's little friction, it ramps down.
You know what I haven't seen? You haven't had to stop it, open it up, scrape stuff back down, and then stick the lid on. We literally are just stepping a couple steps away from it, and it's working. Okay, I also have the 100 Best Juices, Smoothies, and Healthy Snack book. So if you are picking this up, and this item and the next item we're about to talk about, I think is really life-changing. Because, for example, you're talking about trying to take some old habits and create new, healthier habits, and our today's special will absolutely help you do that. I'm in love with what you're about to see.
I'm a huge spiralizer
I am a huge spiralizer. I just did a shrimp scampi the other day for my husband.
Oh, with the zucchini noodles?
Yes, oh God, yeah. And he hates zucchini, right? He's like, I'm not gonna eat it, I don't like spiralizing. And I'm like, you know what, let me just make this for you. And he's like, oh, I really like it.
You can't tell.
And
it takes on the flavor of the sauce.
Because pasta, quite frankly, is just a carrier.
Speaking of sauce, you can make a beautiful homemade sauce.
Can you do a pesto in here?
Yeah, you could do a beautiful pesto. I wonder if we could get some more ice, and I'll show the ice demo again, because I would love to be able to show a snow cone demo again.
Funny about this too is when you get rid of all the junk in processed food, the food that you eat that tastes like this is almost super saturated. I always say it's like eating in Technicolor.
Yeah,
to me, it's like eating in Technicolor. You're like, oh, that's how a strawberry and a raspberry and a little bit of orange is supposed to taste like. It's not coated with a bunch of chemicals and names that you cannot, say, and it tastes wildly different. There's such a richness to the flavors.
And I think we're just so used to eating processed foods, unfortunately. That's sort of, at one point in life, we were eating all these great whole foods. Then we went to these processed foods. I think we're circling back around, right? And we're able to get the tools to your home that, first of all, aren't breaking the bank, but that you're able to eat real foods again. I've just salvaged some ice cubes because I do want to show you that while you're not paying that $400 price point, it still crushes ice into snow, right? So we've got about a cup of ice inside here, and then there's an actual button that says crush ice, which I think is really cool. So all of the presets are built in for you. You have stir, chop, mix, puree, and liquefy, and then there's crush ice, and to me it's my favorite because that really shows the power and the strength of this blender. It ramps up, it just bursts, and it knows. It can feel the friction, right? And in an instant, we have turned ice basically into snow cone ice.
You guys, it's done. It's done. Even before she walked back to it.
I didn't have very much ice in there, but you can see I could make a snowman with that ice.
That is
so
wild.
At the end of the day, you're absolutely going to love this. You get the Braun name and you get the 2-year warranty.
Does it have an auto shut off?
Yeah, it'll shut off after about a minute.
That's great, because again, you forget about it and you go to work, you're like, and it's not that big a deal if it's on, but it's nice to know it's not burning up the energy in your house.
The electricity.
Right, exactly.
It's also saving the motor for you too. So you're gonna love it.
Miss Kelly, thank you.
All right,
thanks for hanging out.
I'm hanging out. I'll be back.
The book to go along with it, 100 Best Juices, Smoothies, and Healthy Snacks. Okay, so coming up, and I know many of you have already picked these up, and I think that's a pretty brilliant idea, because we have the best value we have ever put together coming up from Cuisinart of our ceramic knives. You're getting the 8-inch chef, the slicer, the sentuku, the utility, the parer, and the kitchen shears, all with the blade cover to go with it. So it's a 12-piece set. It is now our birthday blowout and the lowest price we've ever offered. We've sold more than 300,000 and counting of those knife sets, and they are still coming up in this hour. So perfect time to be able to grab those, and it makes a great gift idea. Okay, so I was mentioning to Kelly, we were talking about really changing your eating habits and eating differently. And last Thanksgiving, I just was like, okay, I'm done. I've got to really, really change my eating habits. And it's affected everything in my life. Even when I get my, blood testing done, it's changed dramatically some of my test results, and I'm really proud of that. And the one thing that made the biggest difference is I set my mind to it, but number 2, getting spiralizing in my life. It made a dramatic difference. And we've got the most affordable way I've ever seen. This is a full-on electric spiralizer. And look at this, we're ready to do it. We're coming up with it. It's our today's special, and the price is gonna be $29.95. Check this out. Okay, so I was saying this a little bit earlier. Spiralizing is truly changing lives, and it really has for me. I was saying, Mark, welcome back, that I made a shrimp scampi the other day.
Yes, you did.
And instead of doing pasta and making it loads full of carbs and calories, I actually used zucchini noodles with my spiralizer.
I didn't put the zucchini noodle in right. Bad mark.
Okay.
So let's start that all over again, shall we?
Okay.
Go ahead and take your plunger, put it right in there, put the top on, and then we're going to get into some fun food in just a second. Guys, guys, no kidding. This is what it's all about. It's that incredible spiralizing action, but you don't have a crank you have to worry about. You don't have to put the blade in properly. That's an on me thing. You do have to hit that, you know, instead of the crank. And watch this, you guys. No mess on the countertop because we're giving you that catch container. And just to your point, there is one zucchini just like that. So follow me over here and let's see what we can do with this and have a look at this machine. Because what we did, and you know this, spiralizing is one of the hottest trends in cooking for years. Here's the problem with spiralizers, though. A lot of the blades have you take that food and stick it right in there and start twisting. Your hand gets comically close to that blade, which is razor sharp.
Your hand gets tired.
Your hand gets tired,
right. Cranky ones that you have to try to hold still.
Exactly.
And you have to actually apply your own pressure to get it to spiralize. Well,
and then it goes all over the counter.
Oh, yeah, it's everywhere. Yeah.
Now, this is a gear system. There's a little white gear right inside there. That means it's a rotary motor. You don't have that crank. Everybody gets annoyed with that crank. You know what? You use it once or twice, and you're like, I'm done.
That's true.
That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
Now, by the way, this machine also won't work unless it's put together properly. Notice how that blade doesn't come on?
Oh, nice.
I don't want your hand anywhere near the blade. The top and the bottom both have to be put in place. So if the bottom or the top comes off, it won't cut you. And if the plunger comes off, it won't cut you. The blade spins and your fingers can't get to it. I love that. Okay. So let's have a look here, guys, because this is what it's all about. And this is what I want you to see, all right? People love their spiralizers because it's a way to get fruits and vegetables into your diet that you weren't able to before. And I am your first example. I'll tell you something. I am not a veggie fan. But when you can fool me, when you can call this pasta, and I believe you because it tastes like it, I'll tell you something. You really have something there. So here's what happens here, guys. There's a little piece at the end. You can cut it up for a snack, give it to the kids, or just toss it away. It's entirely up to you. The blades come out as easy as pie. The top pops off. And here's what happens. People get these home, they spiralize, and then they're like, well, what do I do with this?
Yeah, what's next?
So here, let me show you one of the best things you can do.
I actually have the answer here, which I'll tell you in a minute.
So guys, watch this. I have a beautiful pasta dish here. Just getting to temperature. Everything's cooked perfectly, but here's the problem. And this is why your doctor hates pasta, because one serving can run you up to 800 plus calories, and carbohydrates, we're talking north of 150. That turns to sugar, and we all know what happens there. So here's what I want you to do. Go ahead and take out 2 cups of your favorite pasta and add 2 cups of your spaghetti noodles. And guys, here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna change 800 calories to 60, and you're gonna change the better part of 150 grams of carbs to 6. So when it comes time to serve this, Suzanne, have a look at this.
Right.
You've got some of the veggies, some of the pasta, and the kids and hubby will never know the difference. And by the way, finally, a good use for kitchen shears. There you go.
Oh yeah, that is funny, because when you spiralize, you get these really long strings.
It's a mile long.
It is a mile long, and I take my kitchen shears and I just cut it up to make it a little easier to wrestle with. But when you really think about pasta though, Mark, pasta is only a carrier for the good stuff.
Exactly.
Like you wouldn't sit there and just eat a bowl of pasta. Even the most picky kids will eat pasta with butter on it.
Exactly.
Because it's just a carrier for flavor.
Right.
Think Alfredo, right? You just love that creamy stuff. But so what? You don't need the pasta when you can replace it with the zucchini or the squash.
Exactly.
And this will do a lot more. We'll get to that in just a second. It makes a world of difference, and you still get satisfied. You get full, and I'll tell you, one zucchini can go a long way. To feed me and my husband the other day, I used half a zucchini because, again,
45 cents?
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
crazy. Oh my gosh, yeah, absolutely.
So now, guys, we used one of our exclusive blades on our first demonstration. That was our ultra thin. Isn't that cool?
That's nice.
You're gonna get 6 blades with this machine, and 2 of them you can't get anywhere else for less than like 10, 12 bucks a piece, because the only way you've ever been able to get them is through an infomercial offer, and then they go and charge you the shipping and handling for the free blade.
And here they are. Can you explain the blades that we're getting?
Well, you know what? You're gonna get a slicing blade, the thick, thin, and ultra thin blades. The ultra thin is exclusive. You're also gonna get a ripple blade, so you can make some very cool garnishes, waffle fries, waffle chips, things like that.
Oh, cool.
And you're gonna get the coolest slicing blade you've ever seen, and a ribbon blade.
Really?
Yep.
All right, very good. And a ribbon blade. That's
and a ribbon blade. So have a look here. We've used our thick blade on this one, and it actually looks like fettuccine. And that's why people have really taken hold of this spiralizing phenom, and they've loved the dishes they're creating. And here's the cool thing. If you don't see anything here, this evening that looks, you know, like it might be tasty to you, please remember that if you go online, there are approximately 234,912 recipes for your spiralizer. So we're gonna go ahead and put a little balsamic there. We're gonna add a little bit of green, and there's one of my favorite side dishes to give the kids instead of that bag of rice with the 19 ingredients in it, 6 of which I can't pronounce.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So true, absolutely.
And have a look here. Here's your ultra thin blade. Here's your ripple blade that we talked about. This is great for picking up dips, man, when you make your own like ruffly type chips. This is your thin blade. This is our ribbon blade, and I've saved my favorite blade to show you, and that's a slicing blade. I love this. Now, when it comes time to change blades, couldn't be easier. Little tab right there, Suzanne, you see that? Pops right off. Now, when you're handling the blade, I want you to see something here, okay? The outside of it, no problem, guys. You can go ahead and handle that blade all you want. Inside, I wouldn't do that. That's razor sharp stainless steel. Leave it alone. So all you're going to do to put the blade in, and it only goes in one way, is like that. It falls right into place.
Easy.
And remember, the machine will not turn on unless it's loaded properly. So if you've got kids at home that you're trying to teach some cooking skills, get them going on their own, I love this for a machine because there's no way the fingers get to the blades. So watch what we're gonna do here, guys. Again, I love this blade. Watch what's gonna happen. This is gonna go ahead and it's gonna cut spirals and slices. So what it's gonna do is it's actually gonna give me 2 choices of how to use this. Watch what I'm gonna do, Suzanne. As soon as it's all done, now by the way, it's just the weight of the food plus the weight of my finger. I'm not forcing it, I'm not pushing it down hard. That's not what you wanna do with this. Let the machine do the work. So here's your couple of choices you can do with this. Now have a look here. You're gonna get the coolest garnish in a spiral shape that you can put around roasts and chicken, make a big smiley face, whatever it is you're looking to do. Or if you love dehydrating, making your own chips, if you wanna save some money on buying a separate slicer, watch this. I'm gonna go ahead and take that pile that's in a spiral and put a knife cut right down the center, just like that. Now that spiral is the perfect slices. So now you're doing perfect sweet potato casseroles. Everything's cooking evenly and perfectly, guys. 6 blades, incredible variety, electric, no work.
Well,
the best.
And then we've got a one-day price. So let me just kind of explain that. Today's special is good for that day you're watching. So at midnight tonight, the price will jump up to $39.95, and the retail value is $59. And remember, we have 2 extra exclusive blades that are anywhere between like $10 to $12 a piece.
Exactly.
So that's about $25 in extra blades. If you go on down to the 5 Flex, you can get this at home for under $6. And if you've never spiralized before, I am telling you from my own personal experience, it's changed. Even when I went to see my doctor recently, she's like, holy moly, look at this. She did, and I said, well, I made some serious changes in my life. In fact, I'll tell you a funny story. So 6 months ago, I went, they did blood work, and she said, you gotta watch a couple things. I said, you know what, I don't want any drugs, I'm not going to this, I'm not gonna do that. Let me go away and try to fix it with food.
Lovely.
I asked her, let me fix it with food. I did, and she said, okay, I'll give you 6 months. I went back recently just for a checkup, and literally all my statistics were down. And
good for you, congratulations.
And you know what, it's that commitment. I mean, not only am I wearing clothes I haven't worn in a while, but
doesn't that feel good?
You know what, and I'm telling you, spiralizing has changed everything. And I do want to mention, we have a set of 2 books, because I think if you're new to spiralizing, you think, well, sure, I can do, okay, that's onion, that's a good one. But there's so many things you can do that you have no idea with this. And I have 2 books. It's a 2-piece set. It's called Inspiralized Everything, and the other one is Inspiralized, and it's talking about doing healthy, creative, satisfying foods, desserts. You'll be shocked at what you'll learn in these 2 books, and they're available. So when you're looking at an electronic spiralizer, this is amazing to have it under $30. I have a spiralizer. It is electronic. It was not $29 and change. And I bought it from HSN, and I certainly did not get the flex pay on that either. So that's pretty nice to be able to have that tonight. I like it because it's really space saving. My other one's pretty bulky, actually, my electric one.
And even if you think your one with the crank has a small footprint, start measuring out the area of countertop that you're scraping vegetables off of when it's cleanup time.
That's absolutely true.
You know, have a look at this, guys. I've taken 2 very hard root potatoes and run them through this blade. And I'm going to show you what you can do with both of these. This is my snack station. Okay? So have a look here, guys. Right to my left, we did our curly fries. Now here's my little tip for you. If you've ever tried to do French fries and they don't quite turn out as crisp as you'd like them, that's because you're not washing the starch off them. So go ahead and wash the starch off them. Have a look here. Now you've got homemade curly fries you can do in your air fryer, the oven, anything you want to do, and they are crisp and beautiful. Suzanne, you try one of those. They're actually fantastic. And if you've ever stayed, why don't I find you a smaller one?
Yeah. like, really? He gave me one that was like a centimeter.
And if you've ever wandered down one of those restaurant rows and there's a person outside that's like, come on in, have a, try our appetizer. This is usually what they're enticing you with. And I've seen the equipment that makes that in the back. It's actually an attachment that goes onto a drill. So now you think of the power that this machine has. It's actually the most powerful spiralizer we've ever offered out in the marketplace here. So guys, have a look here. That includes the ones on the infomercial in the stores, everything.
No kidding.
Have a look. Now that is an appetizer you are absolutely going to impress your friends and family with. And it took minutes, and that's the cool part of a spiralizer. I believe that cooking should be fun and inventive and experimental. I believe that your mistakes should taste great. And with a spiralizer, guys, your mistakes will taste great, your successes will taste great, but at the end of the day, you are eating vegetables where once you weren't.
You're really, and you know what? And another true story too. So this last week I said, honey, I'm cooking. And he almost fainted when I said that. And then I said, and he knew it was going to be spiralizing, right? Because when I cook, typically I'm going to try to cook something healthier. And I said, I'm doing a shrimp scampi. Now, when you think of shrimp scampi, oh gosh, how good is that?
Yummy.
And I used olive oil, and I used the garlic, and I had all that good stuff in there. All I did was use zucchini, and my husband was like, I don't like zucchini. I'm not going to eat it. I just don't want it. I said, you know what? Just eat it anyway.
Sounds like my wife's husband.
You know what I said? You know what I said though? I go, eat it anyway, because you know what? Daggone, I'm actually cooking for you. So anyway.
Is that a rarity?
Totally. Oh, it never happens.
I love it.
I said, so shut up and just eat it. And you know what? He got done with it, and he literally was like, Suze, that is so good.
Awesome.
Because you know what we want? We don't need the pasta.
Exactly.
We like the taste of the shrimp
sauce
scampi.
And the spices.
Oh, and the butters and the olive oil.
And this is a perfect delivery system for that. But here's another great way to use this machine. We all know that introducing more salads into our diets is always better for us. Great. But then we're staring at a head of lettuce, a knife, a cutting board, and listen, we all get over it pretty quick and open up that bar that has 19 ingredients, right? So have a look at this.
Or you get the bag that's really expensive.
Exactly. So guys, have a look at this, all right? This is one English cucumber, and here's what I want you to do. When it's salad time, this literally takes seconds. You're gonna go ahead and you're gonna take your English cucumber, you're gonna add a little bit of fresh diced tomatoes and some feta cheese, and just like that, you have a salad that would run you $12.95, $18.95 with a little bit of chicken on top in any restaurant in the country, guys. That's beautiful.
That's great.
Isn't that nice?
And did you see how fast it was? It wasn't like you're not chopping a million. And I'll tell you, I think it's even more visually appealing when it's spiralized, don't you think?
Exactly.
There's something about the look of it that's so visually appealing that you actually you want to eat it. All right, I have to give you an update. We have now sold 11,000 of these today. Now, unfortunately, this is the last 2 airings. And so if you're thinking about it, it's the perfect time to get it. And I promise you, from deep in my little heart, is if you really are trying to change your eating habits, switch to spiralizing. My unit is very big. It's got a lot of pieces, by the way, and it's clunky. It's a little clunky to work with. I use it, and I bought it from here, but if I had to compare it to this one, that's the difference. This is all compact. It's all in one unit, so it doesn't take up a lot of counter space, nor a lot of cabinet space.
Right, and that's the whole thing. Now, Suzanne, you and I talked a little bit earlier about the noise that it makes if you're not putting it in directly centered, and that's the noise that you're making. So what this is telling us, and guys, I use this blade on purpose to prove a point, okay? I've used my thin blade with a hard root vegetable, and that's the noise that you're going to hear if you've decided to use a vegetable that's not right for the blade that you're using.
So it kind of tells you, change blades.
Because guys, here's the deal. Those blades are meant for a certain amount of speed, especially with a vegetable with peel on it. The harder you are on it, the more dull it gets. Is why spiralizers that you crank by hand tend not to last quite as long, because you overpower them. This motor is synced up perfectly with the blade, and if it doesn't like what's going on, it's not gonna let you do it. That way you have your machine longer.
It's gonna tell you.
Isn't that great? And have a look at this. I know I don't think I talked to you about this demonstration. People are loving this today. When you go to work and you take those little cups with the noodles in them, have you ever read those ingredients? Don't. I'm telling you right now, it's hundreds and hundreds of calories and carbs and sugar. I blame it for the freshman 15, you guys. Whoo, that's hot. So here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna take those noodles that you made, you're gonna fill a mason jar on top of your favorite.
You mean our spiralizer.
Your spiralizer, my bad.
Our zoodles.
You're gonna go ahead and you're gonna fill that with the veggies, your soup stock, and the noodles. And watch this, whether you like it a little more brothy.
And you could put a little chicken in there, would be delicious.
A little bit of chicken, and watch this. Your choice. Do you like it brothy? Do you like it chunky? It's entirely up to you.
Made your own soup.
Right? Add a little bit of egg, and just like that, instead of those noodles that you shouldn't be eating, now you've got fresh homemade soup in 2.5 minutes at work. That's pretty
brilliant.
cool.
And you do a little mason jar, lid on it, and then stick it in the microwave when you get to work without the lid on it, of course.
Exactly.
All right, what are you showing us next?
Well, you know what? You want to talk about something cool that you can do with your Veggetti? This is pretty cool. Now remember, you're getting all the blades with it today, including my favorite, the spiral blade. And remember, this gives you 2 choices. It's going to cut your veggies into a spiral. And by the way, I'm using a sweet potato on purpose because I want you to really understand how tough this blade is. You're not going to find much tougher than a sweet potato. And have a look here, guys. Again, you've got that garnish, which is fantastic. You can put that around a roast or a chicken. But this is the coolest thing, you guys. If you love homemade chips, if you like dehydrated, if you like apple chips, anything like that.
Or your air fryer.
Right, or your air fryer. Have a look here. Just put a slice right down the center like I've done there, and watch what happens. That spiral is now perfect slices. So you can do chips, you can do dehydrating, you can do all the fun stuff, and everything's gonna cook evenly, perfectly, and at the exact same time. Isn't that neat?
Do you think you meet a lot of people who say, oh, I want to eat more veggies. Oh, yeah, I'm determined to eat better. I'm going to change my health. I want to. But boy, when they start having to chop them by hand, everything ends. Like you're like, because really,
I'm with it.
You start and you have all this intentions. You go and buy all these vegetables at the store, and then the first time you're trying to prep it for a meal, it takes too long, and we don't have that kind of time in our lives.
Exactly.
When you get this in your home, all of a sudden you will take time to make that really delicious salad you're actually craving.
Right, exactly, because it's the exact same time that it takes to make the stuff that you know you shouldn't be eating. And that's what stops us a lot. Fresh eating takes a lot of time, a lot of prep, a lot of cooking, and a lot of thought. When you have the Veggetti Power, you've got everything you need to get that healthy eating in and fool the kids anytime you want.
You know what else is neat about this too? You don't have to spend a fortune to try it.
Absolutely
That to me is really key, because you say, okay, I've never tried it before, but that sounds good. And then you look at some of those spiralizers that are out there, the hand crank, that gets awkward because what you have to do is you have to crank and apply the pressure yourself. It's very physical to use the hand cranky ones typically. Right, yeah, exactly. And then also, if you buy other electric ones, they can be very big and very bulky and much more expensive.
Exactly right.
This is a wonderful way to experiment. Try it out. Hey, if it's 30 days and you don't love it, you can send it back or refund your money. But here, I love this because of this price point, especially with our flex pay, you're not spending a fortune. And then you can really test to see if you will be a spiralizer.
Exactly.
I personally think you will be, because all of a sudden you can take all those recipes. What are some of your favorite Italian pasta recipes?
You know what? What I love doing, like you, shrimp scampi, lasagna, linguine Alfredo, fettuccine Alfredo. Guys, that's an easy question to ask. Which pastas can you replace with your veggie noodles? All of them.
All of them.
And you listen.
All the noodle recipes.
And you don't have to replace all of it. Take half of it out, put half of your vegetable noodles in. You'll never know the difference, except maybe a little bit.
No, and I can tell you, if you can change your eating habits and eat healthier, really skip a lot of those carbs. Like I'm pretty low on carbs in my diet. It just makes a world of difference. And give yourself time to experience that difference too.
Exactly.
I mean, you'll feel it right away, but it's that long-term difference that you can really prove to yourself that this is a good idea. All right, right now, we're edging up on almost 12,000 ordered. I know, Mark, I will see you in a little bit.
You got it.
All right, spiralize away. Are you doing the knife with me?
Volley, I'm finishing my zucchini here.
I didn't know if you were still doing the knives or not.
Absolutely, I love my knives.
You just love your knives. Okay, also guys, will you do me a favor? No, it's okay, never mind. All right, so we're now gonna talk about, this. Here we go. I usually kind of make fun of what we normally offer for first-time card holders, because usually it's $10, save up to $10. And I go, well, you know, that's okay, but boy, I can't make fun of it when it's 25. And I don't really make fun of the idea of getting the card, because the card's great. But what really is cool now is for a limited time, when you get our HSN card, you save $25. But what I always talk about is all the great stuff that happens that you don't even hear about on the air because you have our card. So if you don't have it, you can apply. And when you get it, instantly you save $25. And that's a big deal. My girlfriend just did it the other day. Mel. Hi, Mel. Hi, Mel.
Hi, Mel.
She was shopping with us, and she'd never shopped with us before. She saw the card offer.
Right.
She got the card, got the $25 off, and then she texted me to tell me how excited she was.
I love that.
It's like, yay, Mel.
Love it, I love it, I love it.
All right, now we're going to talk about knives.
Ball of cheese ready there.
Got a lot of ball of cheese. Okay. Here's the thing we talked about in the very beginning of the show about having sharp knives, or quite frankly, just having any knives. You've got to have good ones. And I think you can really depend on that name that you're showing on that sleeve
I'll tell you what,
to get a great knife.
Exactly right. So I'll tell you what, I have been playing with scissors, running with knives for the better part of 25 years. And when it comes time to knowing what to look for in a knife set, believe me, I've figured it out. Though I'll tell you something, 300,000 sets of these and more 4 and 5 reviews that I can count cannot be wrong. So let me walk you through what this knife's about and why everybody loves it. First things first, this knife has all the features you're looking for, starting with a French tip. Now that's the same angle your wrist attaches to your hand with. You've always heard that a knife is an extension of your hand. Well, nowhere is that more important than in close work. The two most important tools in any kitchen are clean hands and a good knife, because you need to know exactly where that blade's gonna go. Now, you're gonna notice the colors on here, and Suzanne, this is what's so cool to me. This is the ceramic coating over stainless steel. These are stainless steel knives at their heart. They look, feel, and perform like a stainless steel knife, but that color that you see is ceramic. That's gonna help you with the non-sticky, no transfer of odors, no transfer of flavors. It's not gonna brown your lettuce and your avocados. And look at this, our knives are sharpened on both sides. And if you're thinking to yourself, well, hold on there, big fella, big deal. Every knife is sharpened on both sides. It just ain't true. Watch this, you guys. If you've ever grabbed a knife and tried to go through a fruit or vegetable and it shoots off in one direction, you're working with a knife that's only sharpened on one side. With this one, I can make contact lenses on live TV. That's the real deal, you guys. And by the way, these knives will also never stain. They're scratch resistant. And because every one of them comes with a sheath, they're gonna be safe in the drawers. Now that's our 8-inch chef's knife, and that's just knife number 1.
That's right, and this is a 12-piece set. It's our biggest set, and it's now the lowest price we've ever offered it for. And how exciting are you about this? We have sold 12,600 sets at the birthday blowout price.
Amazing.
And think about, I mean, that is less than a price of an okay knife at a supermart.
It's kind of crazy.
And you're getting all of those. You get the 8-inch chef, the slicer Santoku utility, the paring knife, and you get the kitchen shears included. Okay, kitchen shears, those are easily 29 bucks if you just go to a kind of a halfway
and your kids
store.
are stealing yours right now.
That's right. they're always missing.
Now this is our Santoku knife. And if you're thinking you've seen Santoku knives before with their characteristic kind of divots cut down the side, do you know why they have those little divots there?
It's to release the food.
Exactly. So the food releases from the knife. Well, remember, these are ceramic, so that's not a problem right out of the gate. So here's the cool thing, you guys. Because we didn't have to cut a bunch of metal out of our Santoku knife, now you don't need a cleaver in your set. So if you ever feel the need to hack up a pineapple, that's the way to do it. That's so I got my aggressions out, I feel better. Save myself a little money on a therapist. I'm gonna put that right there, and I'm gonna show you something that's a little more real world, okay? Guys, we've all been here. We try and cut that pepper, and you might as well use the back of your knife. That's how well it's gonna go, right? You wanna make sure that you've got a blade from a company that knows nothing but kitchen items since the early 70s, guys. This is Cuisinart. It's not a no-name, not an off-brand. You know this name, you've known it forever, and that's why we can put the limited lifetime guarantee on it. And remember, every one of our knives, except our utility knife, is sharpened on both sides. And if you wanna see the craziest thing you've ever seen on live TV, watch this. Follow me to the tomato. Guys, this is no joke. You want to talk about an edge that doesn't stick.
Oh my gosh.
That glides along, that goes exactly where you want it to go and gives you complete control, so much so that you can cut a tomato on a board that isn't holding anything down. That's an incredible demo, you guys. Isn't that something?
And again, you know, we're talking with FlexPay, it's $4.99. And I know you've got old bad knives, and I know you've been home and they're rusted or maybe they're getting wobbly. Did you cook dinner tonight and you just remembered? Like a lot of times we forget, and then we go to cut something, we're like, "Daggone, this knife stinks, this is terrible." For $5 on our FlexPay, you deserve to have really good quality knives. And also we were talking about that sharpener earlier at the beginning of the show.
Exactly.
You can sharpen these knives with that.
Right,
so
exactly.
These are going to be around, and you're going to be using them for a very, very long time. You know what I like, Mark, too, is all the knives really are very usable. It's not a weird blow-off knife you don't know what to do.
Right.
Does that make sense?
What is this thing?
Yeah, what is this weird knife? It's like all of these are the real cornerstones of your kitchen.
Well, and before I walk away from the Santoku knife, the other cool thing about it is it has an herb curve. So I've got that rocking motion. I don't need a mezzaluna. So listen, guys, whether you're cooking for yourself, cooking for the crowd, cooking for the dinner party, I thought when I first saw these, especially when you see the price, I thought, oh, you know what? Maybe this is a cool second set of knives. We'll give it a go in the camper.
Or if it lasts a year,
Maybe it lasts a year, but this is my main set of knives, and I need you to hear me on this. Think about what I do for a living and how many knives show up at my house. I use these ones every time. And by the way, this was a demonstration in the knife that got me. Okay. I can't wait for you to see this. Now, we mentioned sharpening these right off the bat, so I'll tell you what, let me go ahead and take care of that right off the bat, because I do want to show you something, okay? A lot of times, when you have an all ceramic knife, you can't sharpen them. Or if you are going to sharpen them, it costs you a fortune, all right? Remember, these are stainless steel at the heart of it. So even though you get all the benefits of ceramic, you can still sharpen. And just really quick, Cuisinart's got a beautiful knife sharpener, 3 separate stages. You've got a coarse for your old really beat up knives. You've got your middle stone for your everyday knife. And if your knives are a little on the new side, go ahead every 3 or 4 uses and run it through the fine honing stone, and that knife is gonna stay brand new out of the box sharp for as long as you want it to. So I just wanted to show you that real quick. And now, man, am I gonna have fun. If you know anybody that camps, hunts, fishes, boats, grab them by the hair, get them in from across the street, because they have to see this. Not because I think they're gonna think it's so cool, but it's because I want them to tell you how special what you're about to see is. Now, this is our slicing knife. This is gonna get you through every holiday, all your turkeys and hams and stuff, but watch this, you guys. First thing you might not notice is that actually had the skin on it. Have you ever seen a blade fly through fish like that? Now, I know you guys love your outdoors, so Suzanne, I know this one's gonna impress you. Watch this. It normally takes a knife in the couple of $100 range with a big flex and a big bow to be able to do what you're about to see here. This is the way that we talk about these knives when we say they don't carry the odors, they don't carry all of the exactly the stains, they don't scratch. And guys, watch this. You want the perfect slices. I'm gonna do this again because a lot of people watch it and go, you gotta be kidding me. Guys, that is the real deal. Let me do that one more time. This is really special, you guys. I know because I've bought those expensive knives before. I've bought those camping, hunting, and fishing knives. I know what it takes to get a knife to separate the skin from the flesh. And guys, you've never seen anything like that, especially in a knife in a set like this from a company like Cuisinart. And if you think that's special, how about slices of salmon so thin you can make your own sushi at home? Look at that, you guys. How cool is that? That neat?
It is cool. And that's the wow. That's got him. He was like, I'm all in on that. And think about anybody who's moving to their first apartment. Maybe you're trying to encourage someone to cook. I think, again, I think a lot of us don't cook and we don't love to cook because simply we've had bad experiences in the kitchen. It's taken too long. The prep is too arduous. You really mangled something because you had a bad knife. So if you are encouraging someone to cook, or maybe you have a budding cook, maybe you have a budding foodie in your family, get them these knives. I think it's a wonderful gift idea because everyone needs them. It's the one gift that I don't care who you are, you need a good set of knives. Exactly. Because we all have to, even if you're making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, you want a good knife. Making a sub, you want a good knife.
And you're gonna get those kitchen shears with it. Like I said, you know, the kids are probably stealing yours right now. These are great to have more of than less of. These also come with the sheath, which you're really gonna love. And by the way, this next knife that I'm gonna show you is also, you know what, they're all my favorites. What are you even talking about? But one of the reasons I love this knife is because we listened to you before we offered this knife to you, because you wrote in and said, my husband's taking my good ones, the kids are using them for crafts, I'm going nuts. So here's what we did. We're gonna include a utility knife. Now, I'm gonna hold this real still. I'm not sure how close you can get in on that blade, but it's a special one. It never ever needs sharpening. There's 2 rows of micro serration there. Whatever the top row doesn't get, the bottom one's gonna. And I'm gonna show you right here. Now, I'm not gonna bore you by just slicing another tomato, but I do want you to see this. Now, Suzanne, I'm holding it just the weight of the knife. That's it. All I have to do is start running it back and forth, and those serrated blades grab that skin, and away it goes. So I'll tell you, if you don't happen to have Peter Kilcullen's fancy belt adjusting thing, go ahead and do it yourself. Now you've got the utility knife to do it. We're gonna throw that in the shed with the sheet.
If we went so fast, you probably missed it, but he just sliced through a leather belt, and it was a thick leather belt, too.
I love that one.
That's awesome.
And now, every set of knives needs a good paring knife. And a paring knife is supposed to be the approximate length from the end of your hand to the tip of your finger. Because when you talk about a knife being an extension of your hand, this one is so important because this is the one that Grandma cuts towards herself with. So you want to make good and sure that this has the exact feel of a knife that you want it to have. It's got that edge that's sharpened on both sides, so even your paring knife is giving you these ridiculously thin grape slices. And look at this, for close work, nothing better, man. That blade with the ceramic coating glides through your garnishes and the stickiest foods without having to stop and pop it off each time, guys. Isn't that incredible?
That's nice. Okay,
Love
over
it.
13,100 sets have been ordered. Not in, 12 years or 12 months, literally in a couple of airings.
Exactly.
So if you'd like our lowest price we've ever done, this is that blowout. This is the one that even if you don't know who needs them, stock up on them tonight. They come in a great box. Wait for a gift, wait for a reason. Maybe add a, say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna get the sharpener and the knives, and it's a great housewarming gift for someone.
Exactly.
This is the time to get it. And there you can see the entire set there. They are available. Over 13,000, as I just mentioned, sold. Guys, you get a manufacturer's lifetime warranty on these. They're under $20, and it's a manufacturer's warranty.
That's kind of crazy.
It is pretty crazy. Mark, thanks for hanging out. He'll be back. We're going to take one more look at our Today, especially if you're going to change your life. He's going to help you do that. And we have a bunch more coming up, so stay with us.
Have you signed up for HSN email? Sign up for HSN emails now to stay connected on our hottest and newest deals of the week, and you'll even receive exclusive coupons and never miss a Today special. We'll send you the scoop on our best value of the day straight to your inbox. So head on over to hsn.com now and search email to sign up today.
I'm Joy. I'm a mother, that's first and foremost. I'm curious, always curious. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and I'm an inventor. So when I'm designing product, it's all about making everyday life simpler. I guess that's just how I look at things. I find a lot of inspiration from just living my everyday life. And I think, boy, every day's a gift. Make joyful discoveries every day.
Worry about one less thing with our Protection Plus plans at HSN. Computers, printers, cameras, fitness equipment, and even jewelry can be covered with a plan that offers repair or replacement should a failure occur. And portable electronics have accidental damage from handling, which covers unintentional mishaps like everyday drops, spills, and cracked screens. It's easy to add when you are checking out. Search Protection Plus at hsn.com for more details.
Here at HSN, we base our retail values on nationwide information. Retail value is an indication of the price you would expect to pay for the same or similar item elsewhere, not the price at which you would be able to sell the item. Prices do vary around the country, so ours might be different from prices in your area. For more information, call one of our customer service reps at 1-800-289-3900.
You're watching HSN.